The Vagabond is your Elden Ring tank. If you want to Leroy Jenkins yourself into any encounter and take some hits, then this is absolutely the class for you. This class guide series is a quick beginner setups guide for all of the Elden Ring classes to get you started, dip your toes into the class, and then you can freely develop it from there. We will start off with character creation. Now, your main stat is going to be Vigor. You do start out as Soul level 9 with a Vigor of 15. Next, you've got a Strength of 14 and a Dexterity of 13. So basically, the way this works is you've got a lot of health and you can wield some of the bigger weapons by having a decent Strength and Dexterity. You also have a Quality Endurance starting at 11. Picking a keepsake is always the Golden Seed. You get an extra flask, just pick the Golden Seed and move on. For your starting gear, you start out with a longsword and the halberd. The halberd's okay, but the longsword is the really quality starting weapon here, as well as the heater shield, which has 100% physical resistance, so you can block all the damage coming towards you. Because we have a decent stamina, we can do tons of blocking here. Your armor is the Vagabond Knight armor, which is quality again, so you can tank some of those hits that are coming towards you. And for your flask, we are going to put all of our flask points into health. We don't really use FP here unless you're summoning spirit summons or using Ashes of War, but it's all about the health here. How to play this class is it's really all about tanking damage with the shield and blocking. This is a great class for beginners that don't want to use spells, or if you're not accustomed to using spells and you just want to use all of the melee weapons. In combat, you'll mostly be holding your block and tanking the hits that come towards you or blocking them. When appropriate, you can counter with a guard counter by blocking an attack and then heavy attacking as a follow-up, and you will deal this special like attack. You'll hear this little sound and you'll deal a decent amount of damage. It also does a lot of poise damage, so you can often stagger enemies from this. Even though this is a tank, that doesn't mean you want to take damage. You want to avoid damage as much as possible by blocking it, absorbing it into your stamina, or just dodging it out of the way if you do need to. As soon as you get into Limgrave, you want to unequip that halberd so you no longer have the heavy weight class, which means that you're fat rolling or heavy rolling, so you have that slower animation on your roll. If you unequip the halberd, you'll just have a normal equipped load, so you can then just do the normal roll. Or if you really wanted, you could equip the sword and just rock the halberd. When fighting on Torrent, remember that you can swing on either side of the mount with the right and left triggers. Because we don't have any ranged here, you will need to use hit and run tactics on enemies when you're on Torrent. It's also worth noting that Torrent can actually tank some of the damage for you if you do get hit, and Torrent gets hit and you don't get hit, you won't lose any health obviously, but Torrent will, so you can avoid some damage by just having Torrent take that damage for you if you are, a bad mount owner, I guess. Other than that though, the only thing to take into consideration is your Ashes of War. On your shield, you start out with parry, which you can use to parry enemies' attacks and kind of put them off balance to follow up with a critical hit, or you can use the kind of stab attack that you get with the longsword. Both of these are just simply okay. I don't think either is really strong. You will want to replace the Ash of War that is on your sword as soon as possible with something that is a bit more versatile and valuable to use, because you won't really be using your FP in any other way other than the spirit summons. You're only going to be using your FP on Ashes of War, so you want to make sure you have a solid Ash of War to back you up here as this class. For your attributes, strength is the key here, with a little bit of dexterity if you want to equip some of the different weapons, but strength is the focus, and then vigor and endurance as your two secondary stats. Vigor is obviously for your health, so you can tank some of that damage, but endurance will be really beneficial for you, so you can increase your equipped load, so you won't be heavy rolling when you equip some of the heavier weapons as well as some of the heavier armor. It'll also increase your stamina, and because we want to be tanking that damage into our stamina rather than our health, having a high amount of stamina is beneficial. Also to help you dodge some attacks if you are blocking and you want to actually initiate a dodge to really get away from something, you want to have additional stamina so you can do that. For your gear, the great thing about the Vagabond is that you're basically good to go right from the start. All your starting gear is solid. You will find lots of different melee weapons throughout Limgrave and the surrounding areas that you can test out, see what kind of the attack animations are like, the Ashes of War, if you like them, dislike them. If you like them, then just rock it. There's plenty to play around with here, and that's one of the benefits of having a melee class like this. The one thing that you should do, which we mentioned earlier, is get better Ashes of War, and the best way to do this is go to the War Master's Shack in the world, and there is a vendor here that will sell you Ashes of War that you can equip onto your melee weapons. It's just such a better way to do it than just to find them in the world, but you can find them in the world, but you can kind of book it here, spend some runes, get some better Ashes of War, and you are good to go. If you're looking for more class guides, I have a playlist set up for all of these quick class guides. Thank you for watching this video till the end. Thank you to our members for supporting the channel. My name is Norza, and I hope you have a great day.